Hi guys, my name is Alex, and today I will be teaching you guys how to graph a parabola and also the definition of a parabola. Let's start with the definition of a parabola. A parabola is defined as a symmetrical open plane curve formed by the intersection of a cone with a plane parallel to its side. This over here is a parabola. The axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is the line that cuts the parabola in half, making both sides equal to each other, or symmetrical. The maximum of a parabola is the highest point of the parabola. So if this parabola were to be facing the other way, this point right here, or this point, would be the maximum. The focus is a fixed point on the interior of the parabola. It must be equidistant from the vertex to the directrix. So from the focus to the vertex, this distance in between has to be the same between this point, the vertex, and the directrix. That brings us to the definition of the vertex. The vertex is the highest or lowest point on the parabola. So for this parabola, the vertex would be here, and for this parabola that is dotted, this would be the vertex. Which takes us to what a directrix is. A directrix is a fixed line that describes the parabola and must be equidistant from the vertex to the focus. The intercepts are the 2 points that are on the parabola that also cross the axis. So these 2 points here are the intercepts. Positioning a parabola. Facing up or facing down. A negative in front of the coefficient of x determines if the parabola faces up or down. For example, if the equation is y equals 5x squared, the parabola will face up due to the fact that 5 is a positive number. Now, if it were y equals negative 5x squared, it would be faced downward because the 5 would be negative. Take a look at these examples here. Does it move left or does it move right? To determine whether a parabola will move left or right, you must look at the number after the x. If the number is positive, you shift it to the left how many ever units the number is from the parent function. So since this is y equals x plus 2 squared, you move to the left since the 2 is positive by 2 units because the number is 2. If the number is a negative, you will move it to the right how many ever units the number is. So y equals x minus 2 squared, negative a 2, to the right 2. In the examples above, I have explained how negative and positive and the number can affect the change in a parabola. Does the parabola move up or does it move down? The number that comes after the x squared is the determining factor for whether the parabola moves up or down. If the number is a positive number, it will move upward along the y-axis, how many ever units the number is. So for this parabola here, y equals x squared plus 2, it'll therefore move up by 2 because of the positive 2. If the number is a negative, it will have a downward movement along the y-axis, how many ever numbers or units it is. So negative 2, it would therefore go down by 2 units from the parent function, which is y equals x squared. Therefore, for the equations on the above, I've explained how come a parabola will move up or down and why, how many units it will move. For the steepness and the wideness of a parabola, it all depends on the coefficient in front of the x. So if you look at the coefficients for y equals 4x squared, the coefficient of x squared would be 4. Therefore, from the parent function, it moves 1, 4 due to the 4. For this equation, y equals a half x squared. Therefore, it would be 1 and 2. This is an example question that I have created to model a different way to graph a parabola. If you don't want to memorize all of these steps I have put listed before, you could always just draw a table and plug in numbers to figure out the parabola. Alright, thank you guys for listening to this presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me on how to graph parabolas. Thank you.